History may be hiding a document the world was never supposed to see, a report written by the very man who ordered the execution of Jesus Christ. Not years later, not as a rumor, but the very next day. Think about that. A man wakes up knowing he just sentenced someone to death, someone many were already calling the Son of God. And that man was Pontius Pilate. As governor, Pilate didn't have the luxury of silence. Every major incident, especially an execution that could spark unrest, had to be reported back to Rome. And not just anyone, but to the emperor himself, Tiberius. So let this sink in. Pilate most likely sat down and wrote a report explaining why Jesus was crucified, what he saw, what he heard, what he allowed to happen. Now here's the question no one can fully answer. What exactly did he write? Because that document is gone. No official Roman record, no preserved scroll, no confirmed report. It's as if it vanished. But the story doesn't end there. Centuries later, mysterious writings began to surface, claiming to reveal what Pilate said. One of the most talked about is linked to the Gospel of Nicodemus. And what it describes is unsettling. These writings portray Pilate not as a confident ruler, but as a troubled man. A man who repeatedly declared Jesus innocent. A man caught between political pressure and something he couldn't explain. They speak of darkness covering the land, of strange events surrounding the crucifixion, of a moment that didn't feel like an ordinary execution, but something far greater. Almost as if Pilate knew. He had made a terrible mistake. But here's the truth you need to understand. These accounts were not written at the time of the events. They came much later. Historians do not consider them official Roman records. They're known as apocryphal texts, powerful to read, but not verified as historical fact. Still, the mystery deepens. Early Christian thinkers like Justin Martyr and Tertullian made bold claims. They said that reports about Jesus actually existed in the Roman archives. Think about that. Official records, stored in the heart of the empire. And yet, no one has ever found them. No proof, no trace, nothing that survived the weight of time. So we're left with this haunting possibility. Pilate did write the report. Rome did receive it. But whatever it contained is lost forever, or hidden. And maybe that's where the real question begins. Not just what Pilate wrote, but why it disappeared. Because empires don't just lose documents like that, especially not ones tied to events this significant. So what was in that report that history could not keep? And here's where it becomes personal. Because whether or not Pilate's words survived, the man he tried to explain did. Jesus Christ was executed under Roman authority, buried, and yet his story didn't end there. Empires rose. Empires fell. Records were destroyed. History was rewritten. But his name kept spreading. Across nations, across generations, into hearts even today. Maybe the real mystery isn't the missing report. Maybe the real mystery is how a story meant to be silenced became the most unstoppable message in human history. If you believe some truths can never be buried, type truth in the comments. And if you want more powerful stories like this that make you think deeper about history, faith, and what's really been hidden, make sure you subscribe right now.